cool. I wanted to make a video. This is a test, I guess, to see how well this video idea works. I want to make a video of myself browsing through my YouTube history and just kind of talking about the shit I've watched in the last few days because I thought this would be like entertaining. So I watched this today. This is William Osman. Okay, I don't want to talk about that. He's just a goofball. He's got like weird shenanigans on his stupid farm. 3 Mile Island is opening back up, and that's kind of an interesting video about how they are restarting 3 Mile Island and the logistics of restarting a nuclear reactor that's been closed for decades. Apparently, it's much easier to restart this particular reactor because it wasn't dismantled at all. And so that's great, but it's also like $1.6 billion to get it restarted, which is a pretty crazy investment. I didn't really watch this, but this was, apparently there is an area called the Parkinson's Belt where you're much more likely to get Parkinson's, and it's due to some sort of like chemical contamination. I don't know. I watched this because I recently met a girl who is in this video, who works at Waymo, and that was cool. I listened to Harry Styles' song for like 2 hours last night because I love it and it's unreasonable. Watch history. I had a podcast with Lewis. Check that out. This is a video that I made. I watched it. I opened it so I could send it to somebody. I'll talk about that. Terrestrials. This was great. So this is a podcast I listened to, and then I found it on YouTube so I can send it to a friend. So apparently camels are not native to the desert. They're actually native to North America, and for like the 50,000 years that camels have existed, for 40,000 of them, they were native to North America. And then like 10,000 years ago or something, they crossed over to Africa on like a land bridge that was then like swallowed up by the ocean. And so they're actually like really adapted for the snow, which is crazy. Like there used to be a bunch of different species of camels apparently that all lived in North America, and a bunch of them were super adapted for the snow. Really big ones, that really long legs, really shaggy. And modern camels actually still love the snow. They've got like these really wide hooves so they can walk in the sand, but also they can walk in the snow. And yeah, they're like, I don't know, it's really interesting and cool. It was a fun Mrs. Kisses bra. This is my fucking ex. I was looking it back up because I was gonna send it to a friend, but like this Mrs. Kisses bra is like the best bra that exists potentially. It's a really good bra, and my ex used to love it. I used to love it on my ex. Fucking always makes the tits look really good, and 10 out of 10 would recommend Mrs. Kisses bra. Anyways, that's a great, if you're a girl, you should check that out. I was watching some, listen to Harry Styles music. Apparently, okay, this is cool. So apparently there's this oceanic current that I forget what it's called, but there's oceanic current that like carries nutrients throughout all the oceans, and there are these clams. Apparently clams are like the oldest living animals in the world. You can find some clams that like there is a clam apparently that was found that was 500 years old, and the reason they can tell it's old is because there are little rings in its shells, just like rings in the trunk of a tree. The clams have like these little lines, and when the clam grows, it adds to the little lines every year. And so you can actually look at the lines in the clamshell and see like its growth pattern, and also like which years were good years, which years were bad years, and because of that record of the clam's life and its health in its shell, you can also, if it's really old, you can look at the health of the clam and also judge the health of the oceanic current really far back in time. And apparently like the clams can be like really good indicators of like the health of the ocean in ways that are not obvious by other metrics, usually years in advance. So like if the oceans are getting like a lot warmer or stuff is changing, like the clams can be an indicator of it before it's obvious in any other way. And that was really cool. Okay, I watched a bunch of videos about bitrate because I was trying to edit my 360 video. Snow and confetti ruin your YouTube quality. I didn't actually watch that. Oh, okay, this was really cool. I was only paying half attention to this because the guy in the video was kind of boring, but apparently there was this big experiment in rural Africa, in like the poorest parts of Africa. They gave $10 million to people in Africa, and there's a lot of like conservative sort of like ideology about what will happen if you give people money. Like they think that people will become lazy, people will start spending the money in like in frivolous ways, and they won't care for themselves or their possessions as much because they have like free money. Anyway, so like they tried it. They just basically did UBI in this really poor areas of Africa, and it turned out that like by and large that's not true. Most of the time, if you give people free money, usually they actually spend the money really well. They spend the money only on things that they need, and they use the extra time that they have to better themselves. And so it's really cool. Like it might actually like totally change how assistance happens, and also how like charity happens, because instead of like buying things for people, you can just give people the money, and that really simplifies things. This was a terrifying video right here. This is why Ukraine wars deadly drones are now flying by 12-mile long wires. Fuck, it's terrifying. Also, just like anything that has to do with like the Ukraine war stresses me the fuck out. But like apparently like there's this new type of drone where they put like these fiber optic wires on the drones, and the drones just like fly and the wire spools out behind them, and the wire is like 10 kilometers long, I think, or 12, no, 10, 12 miles long. It's right there in the title. But so it's like you can just fly a really long way with this drone, and usually the drones are used in a kamikaze way, to like, so they put like a warhead on the drone, and then they fly it into some vehicle, and they just have like a whole bunch of footage of these drones flying into vehicles that are being driven and disabling them. You don't know what happens to the vehicle, because when the drone flies into it, like obviously you lose the feed, um but like in every one of those videos, like people are dying, and it's very stressful to watch. Fuck, I hate it. um Healthcare thoughts from Lima. Okay, this was an interesting video. John Green, he cares a lot about tuberculosis research. He went to Lima in Peru, and talked to a doctor who's doing tuberculosis screening. I don't know, it's kind of interesting. 360 video editor, because I'm trying to edit my 360 videos, more 360 stuff, and bitrate stuff. Apparently you want your bitrate to be really high when you're like creating 360 video content, and because you want the video to be as highest quality as possible, and like 360 video content is like the highest I don't know, bitrate content that there is potentially, because it's like 4K but in all directions instead of just one direction. So I don't know. That's kind of crazy learning about that. File sizes get to be very large and obnoxious. This video, how waves could quietly overtake solar and wind. This is really cool. There's a company that's making like these wave power generation buoys, and they are scaling it up. By 2026 they want to have like an installation off the coast of Scotland or Ireland, I don't remember, and they have like already working prototypes that have survived like some really big storms, and so that's like really encouraging. Wave power generation could, or like potentially should be, one of the best kinds of power generation, because for renewable energies, it's better than wind and solar, because both of those are intermittent, and waves energy is not intermittent. And so the only problem is that it's like takes a ton of R&D to develop like a working system that can survive really harsh conditions in like a storm. And so this company seems like they have done it. They've made some buoys that will generate power. I don't know, it's cool. Every time I learn about wave generation stuff though, I'm always like, it feels like there should be a way of making it so that you're not putting your equipment directly into the ocean. I did see one time a video a long time ago about this company they made, it's like a wind turbine, but it's on like like there's like a blow spout where like the waves go into a cave, and the air blows out through a rock in the top of the cave, and so they just made that artificially and put a wind turbine on the top. And that seems really promising, because like if the waves aren't in contact with your infrastructure, if they're just pushing around air or something else, then that feels like that would really like simplify the environmental damage problem. I don't know. This was crazy. Okay, so I actually have a buddy who took shrooms. he was experimenting with shrooms and having a lot of fun with them for like 6 months or so, and then he took them and he had a really bad trip, but also it didn't stop. He had this hallucination, persisting perception disorder thing, and that's really crazy. So this video was about that, and this guy, the actual host of this video, has this. It's HPPD is the acronym. He has it really bad because he did acid when he was a kid, and then the trip just never stopped. And it's still going to this day. Like he's like in his 30s or something, and he still has that problem. He's still like visually experiencing a trip, even though he's not like mentally. It's weird. Anyway, so like my buddy, he had that a little bit. His trip didn't stop for like 2 days, and even now he still has like moments where like it still persists like a little bit, and so that's like really scary. I used to be really pro giving people shrooms, but not so much anymore because I don't know, I'm scared of this. I'm scared of accidentally like inflicting something like this on somebody. I would hate to do that, and so I don't know. I'm like kind of less enthusiastic about it now. Even as much as psychedelics have helped me, um, this is a very scary thing. I don't know. I did not watch this video. It's about how to work out. Oh, okay. This is actually interesting. The reason that I tried to watch this video, or like was researching, like googling this, was because I watched a Instagram video where someone said that like if you have ADHD, that it then actually it means that your brain actually craves lactic acid, and and you need lactic acid in order to be able to focus. And I've never heard it put that way. But the woman in the video was saying that there's like some study and that confirms this. Anyways, like that tracks totally with my experience though. That like usually if I work out, it calms my brain and makes me able to focus in a way that only Adderall can. But it is kind of better than Adderall in the sense that like it it lasts longer, and there are definitely times when the Adderall will help, but not as profoundly. I don't know. The Adderall is definitely still like peak though. It's really good. I don't know. Fuck. This Hegel video about Hegel, philosopher. I watched this. When did I watch this? Does it give you a date when you watch it? I don't know. Budget phone. Okay. All right. I'm gonna stop this here. I could keep going. Oh, this was Monday. Today is Wednesday. Okay. So this was like the last 2 days. Cool. Last 2 days. All right.